Today on Commander Replay, can Xyris fight its way through 2 hours and 53 minutes of counters and bounce? Find out next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, be sure to check out my GoFundMe if you want to submit decks for me to play or do one-on-one deck reviews. Check the link in the description below. Welcome back everyone. Playing some Xyris The Writhing Storm today. Take a look at this opening hand. We've got 2 lands and some real high drops. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's mulligan that one as much as I like the Soul Ring. Warp World Omniscience just... Oh, awkward colors. Awkward colors right here. Oh, God. So, like... Everything in my brain is telling me I should mulligan this, but we have a Gaia Reach Sanitarium, so we can loot. If we find a green, we're into this 3 visits. As bad as this might go, I think I can make this work. Let's keep. Any colored mana off the top, and we're golden. Because then we're either into the 3 visits or we're into the Cascade Bluffs, and then life should be pretty good. So it brings it to our turn 1. We draw an Impact Tremors. Not really what we're looking for, but... let's get the Cascade Bluffs just in case colored mana happens for some reason, so yeah. So today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Zach Ryan, and I believe he did play this game in paper one time on webcam, if I'm not mistaken. I faced a Xyris deck doing the paper webcam games. I'm trying to remember now if it was his or not. I think it was his. But anyway, it's a pretty interesting commander, so 2 and Teamer for a 3/5 flying. Whenever an opponent draws a card, except for the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, create a 1/1 green snake creature token. Whenever Xyris deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each draw that many cards. So it's kind of weird. This is a wheels deck, so everyone's going to be drawing a lot. I would call this deck mid-power, maybe the upper ends of mid-power, I think. Wheels themselves can be really disruptive. This deck, it does have a Locust God in it, which is a pretty strong card, but didn't really see any, like, straight-up combo I-wins other than Omniscience. There's also a Warp World in the deck, I guess, which might be, might fall into that category. Warp World with a bunch of tokens is going to be pretty good. You're going to come out ahead on that one quite often, so... Brings back to our turn. There's some colored mana. Yeah, not getting punished. All right. Play this Forest. Play this 3 visits. Taiga seems good. Breeding Pool also seems good. We don't have any double red. I don't actually know what the color requirements of our deck look like that much. I guess we have the deck in front of us. So I'm taking a peek through the pips. See what kind of double colors we have. There's a double blue, Locust God, there's a triple red. Triple red might be Taiga right here. Yeah, I don't see anything other than... There's a couple double blues, but not too many. So let's get the Taiga. And no, we can hold off on that Winds of Change, so we'll just tap out and pass. So let's take a quick peek over at the deck list real quick. Thought it was interesting. So really interesting mana curve, super low, mostly 2 and 3 mana. And then you've got a couple things at 4, very few things, 3 5 drops, 4 6 drops, 2 7 drops. So super low mana curve with a lot of things at 2 and 3 mana. And then, you know, just a few things along the way that have a little bit of punch in the late game. I think I actually like this setup. I might change the 3 drops just a little bit. 22 3 drops is a lot. If you can... I'd have to look through these specifically, but if there's any that can be changed to 2 drops, then that might be a good idea. One of the things on my mind is, like, how many 3 drops can you reasonably cast in a game, and are those 3 drops always impactful enough? So that's always the question. So sometimes it makes sense to offload things either up the curve or down the curve, but that's a whole different thing. We'll take a look at that later. But I just thought the mana curve of the deck was interesting because it is pretty low. So that is a nice departure from a lot of the decks that I play that look to win with like 6, 7, and occasionally 8 drops. So yeah, I feel pretty good about having a couple lands here. That means we're going to be able to play a lot of things pretty easily, I think. So yeah. But yeah, Xyris I think is interesting because it's not like the Locust God where if you wheel with the Locust God, sure, they get the fresh 7, but like it helps you way more than it helps them most of the time. With Xyris, my initial impression is that you're probably helping them an almost similar amount. Like obviously your deck is built in a way to take advantage of the tokens and the extra draws and stuff, but you are giving one player a lot of cards. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting thing to have to consider when doing your attacks and who do you want to feed cards and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm interested to see what we do today. I'm interested to see more of what this deck does in the future. Because it's not just like a Golos where it's like I do all the powerful things and you don't get to do anything. It's no, I do some powerful stuff, but I'm giving you something as well. So interesting trade-off right there. Anyway, brings it back to our turn. Opponent did get a Psymaster Thopterus before passing. We draw into a Wheel of Fortune. And those are pretty good. We got some wheels in hand. We got some wheels. Our commander is 5. Haven't ramped. Actually, we did ramp one. But what are we doing right here? I guess let's get the Gaia Reach into play. We've got 4 total mana. What do we want to do with 4 mana? We could go Folio and Impact Tremors. Yeah, that seems fine. Or, yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's get those 2. So we're going to need a red and a blue. Tap the Taiga. Tap the colorless. Get the Impact Tremors. Use the colorless. Use the Folio. Opponent said rude when they got poked with the Torment of Soul. Put him down to 39. Here comes a Dimir Cup Purse. Let's take a look at what our opponents are playing today, by the way. First up, we have Chaotix 2075 piloting Etrata the Silencer. I tried this deck one time a long time ago, and I determined that it is a hard mode commander. Dimir not being my favorite thing ever, I never really took a revisit on it, but it seems like it's a pretty tough thing to get that going. There may have been some new cards along the way that have helped out with Etrata. I haven't really followed it super closely. So let me know in the comments below if Etrata's gotten any easier to get that win condition with, because like I said, it's not been something that's been on my radar super close. But Chaotix did say he's playing a Dimir combat deck, which it's not typically what you'd expect from Dimir. Dimir not super well combat oriented, tends to be more control, more combo. You got a lot of tutors in those colors, so playing creatures and turning them sideways is not super incentivized in Dimir. In the way that like anything with red or green is going to be, so. But doesn't mean you can't, so hopefully we get to see some Etrata do some stuff today. Could be kind of interesting. Next up, we have Zombie Caller 4-2 piloting Brokkos Apex Forever. Saw a little bit of this deck yesterday when I was filming. It's a mutate deck, and you do have to be careful with some of those mutate stacks as they get a lot of abilities going. Yeah, you just got to be careful. Jamming a bunch of abilities onto a single creature that is also a 6/6 and a trample, it's pretty good. It's maybe not the most overpowering Sultai commander ever, but there are some truly overpowered Sultai commanders, so Brokkos probably just a bit more chill than those if you're not looking to do the Tasigur, Muldrotha, or Yarok kind of thing. Oh, hey now. Opponent's gonna activate the Field of Ruin, destroy the Scavenger Grounds, doesn't want that graveyard getting exiled. This will get us a land, which I like. And then finally, we have one non-Patreon supporter, a pickup player today, Stefano13, piloting Padeem, Console of Innovation. This is going to be a blue artifact deck. Does give their artifacts hexproof, and they get to draw if they have the biggest artifact. It's pretty cool. All right, we've got us green. How many double greens do we have in the deck? I see a couple double greens. There's a triple blue somewhere. We have much more green mana than we have red and blue, so I guess we'll start working our way toward the Warp World with the mountain. Not that we have it, but we're probably going to wheel a whole bunch and draw a lot of cards and do all that kind of stuff. So, you know, plan ahead, plan ahead. Now, what's unfortunate is that we have a whole bunch of wheels in hand and, like, we don't have the instant speed ability, so we're going to have to give up on one of them. Winds of Change is the worst of the two, just because you don't draw 7. Wheel of Fortune is the better of the two. Here comes a Trophy Mage for opponent. Yep. So opponent gets a Mind Stone, gets a Thopter, casts a Trophy Mage. What do they reveal? They reveal a War and Power Stone. Yeah, just looking for the mana ramp. That's a Trigon Predator. Trigon Predator is a fun card. Do we have enough colored mana to make all this work? I think we do. Play the Yavimaya Hollow. So if we go Mountain, tap the Cascade Bluffs for double blue. Let's get Jace's Archivist. We'll tap the Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Oh, nope. Did that wrong. Did that wrong. Oh, God. Was there a way to make this work? There was not. We don't have enough blue. Well, that's all sadness. I would have done that differently. I thought we could get both into play, and I just didn't calculate right on the Cascade Bluffs, so it's not great. Just target creature. We can regenerate our creature should something happen to it, so I guess that's the plan we're on now. Probably would have just gone for our commander instead, I think. Impact Tremors will get everyone for 1. We get everyone draw a card also. Maybe we'll do that at the end step. See if we can find our way into that next land. Chaotix going to send the Dimir Cup Purse into the Brokkos and the Tormented Soul our way. Yep, nothing we can do about that. Brokkos going to fire off A Vampiric Tutor, sure. We looking at the board wipe? If they board wipe on their turn, maybe they go for the ramp spell. I don't know. It's either probably ramp or board wipe in this moment. If they played the board wipe, then our misplay last turn actually helps us a bit, because instead of losing 2 things, we only lose 1. And not our commander, plus the fact that we've got a bunch of wheels anyway, so like, you know, Chase's Archivist is good, but when you've got 2 more wheels in hand, not feeling too bad. Oh, you know what we should have did? We should have drew with the Folio of Fancies before the Vampiric Tutor resolved. Not that it would make that much of a difference with the Sylvan Library, but it could have. In some world, it could have. So, opponent Vampiric Tutors. Dimir Cutpurse gonna force Zombie to discard a card, and Chaotix gets to draw a card. Yep. Ooh, discards a Diabolic Revelation. That's a strong card. Now, it's a bit of a late game card, but I'd rather they don't have it. It does things. That's a Sword of Light and Shadow. You know what that's going to be good for? All the things we're going to dump into opponent's graveyard when the wheels start flying. Yeah, Trigon Predator's got some work to do. Kind of wish we got that in, honestly. Luckily, the colors don't impact us at all, but still a good card. He taps up the 2, but does not equip it. Real strange. Sylvan Library trigger for Zombie Caller. Did they get the board wipe? Drops a land. Nope, went for... Well, we don't know what they tutored for, but they're going for the ramp card right here, so that's fine. Oh, Chaotix said he misclicked. Whoops. Yeah, that does happen. I had one the other day. I think yeah, I did. I had an X spell and I clicked too fast and accidentally cast an X spell for 0 and didn't get to use the Cryptic Trilobite, which I was very excited about. You play this game long enough, bad things will happen. True of any game, really. I say that a lot in softball, too. Before the virus, I would have been starting my 11th season, and in 11 seasons, I have struck out 2 times, so if you play long enough, bad things will happen at some point. There's the Worn Power Stone for opponent gets themselves another Thopter. Opponent's going to send a Thopter our way, and a Trophy Mage our way. We could block and regenerate and kill the Trophy Mage. It doesn't seem worth it. I think I'd rather just draw the card and try to set up a land drop. Opponent going to call our bluff right there, I think. Folio of Fancy is an interesting card. I've been starting to see it show up here and there, and I don't know. I'm excited to play it. Kind of interesting. Giving everyone cards is, you know, an interesting thing to begin with, but the fact that you can mill people if you need to, also pretty interesting. So in the super late game, it can turn into a win condition. So we'll draw X1 with the Folio, see if we can hit that land. Don't know what the land count in the deck is, didn't look. We get some boots. Boots are all right. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on 6 mana. Our commander is 5. Land off the top. We can go Boots and Xyris, and that seems like it could be pretty good. Nope, not Boots and Xyris. We have a Harvest Season. Search the library for X basic lands, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control, and then put those cards onto the battlefield tapped. So that one's going to be a second. Oh, we could go Trigon Predator and with haste, which seems pretty cool. If we went Trigon, what if we went Trigon Lightning Greaves? That's 5 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, not enough left after that. We could, you know, I'm not ready to wheel yet. Like, we've got the Harvest Season, and I think I'm on Trigon Predator Boots. Let's just get our commander. Hopefully it doesn't get blown up. Leave the Yavimaya Hollow untapped, just in case. Someone would have to play like a Tempt or something like that. One of the few cards that puts lands into play untapped, but on the off chance that, I think we're about to get countered. Yep, awesome. Awesome. Oh, hey, they changed Magic Online finally, so yes, return my commander to the command zone, please. Wow, I wonder if it's going to be less terrible with changing zones now. That would be incredible, if it were. I don't think Chase's Archivist is going anywhere. Yeah, maybe we should have went for the Trigon Predator play. Was worried about the removal, and the removal happened, so it's bad news. It's bad news. Remember when I did that video on Hedron Archive the other day? So we have played 1-3 visits, and I can feel us falling behind to our opponent who just played an Explosive Vegetation, and this opponent who's got Prismatic Lens, Mind Stone, Worn Power Stone. And that's what I'm talking about with Signets, is like, sure, they're good in the early game, and they do help. Chaotix's going to send the Dimir Cutpurse our way. We just block? No, we'll take. Now, we also missed a land drop right there, which was not ideal. Chaotix's going to Najitsu a Throat Slitter in. This is going to be terrible. Which one is Throat Slitter? Is that the kill a creature or is that the discard one? That is the destroy a creature. Yep. Archive is going to go down. Oh, Throat Slitter is going at the Psy Master Thopter's opponent, so not going our way. Can appreciate that. We will have to discard, though. Throat Slitter going to kill the Psy. Yeah. Actually, I guess Psy's not their commander. Padeem is their commander, but Psy's still very good in the deck. What are we getting rid of? Winds of Change, maybe? Yeah, Winds of Change. We've got wheels for days, so. How many wheels are actually in this deck? So, like, if we use the Jace's Archivist, are we giving up too much by discarding Wheel of Fortune? Magus of the Wheel, Time Twister, Windfall. Got Folio in place, we can draw more stuff. Time Spiral, Teferi's Puzzle Box. Okay, I think there's enough other wheels in the deck that, like, that will be okay. Recast the Tormented Soul and puts the sword on the Throat Slitter. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Loyal Drake for opponent. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, draw a card. It's a 2/2 flyer. It's a pretty good card. 3 mana, 2/2 flying. Yeah. Put one in this deck. Not that you need to, but you could. Here comes a Master Transmuter. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. It's an artifact. We can blow it up with the Trigon Predator. Oh, man, we need more mana. I really wish our commander didn't get countered last turn. That hurt pretty bad. Need to get the Trigon Predator going. Artifacts and enchantments that need to get blued up. Nature's Lore, you say? Yeah, let's get the Nature's Lore going. Let's get... I think I want Breeding Pool. We need more blue mana. Untapped. Got 5 mana left. That's exactly enough for a Trigon Predator and some Lightning Greaves. We can't really get through the Thopters all that well, so we're not going to be going that direction. Impact Tremors will trigger. Play the Greaves. What's scarier? I think Sylvan Library is scarier. Opponents still got decent life. They've got a lot of ramp. The thing I don't want them to have is card draw. There aren't cards in the graveyard yet for the Light and Shadow. So either we can eat the Loyal Drake and kill the Sylvan Library, or they have to give up on one of them. I think I like that. So equip the boots, send in the Trigon Predator. So Trigon Predator will hit, and we'll blow up the Sylvan Library. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Sylvan Library does trigger Xyris, but Sylvan Library is also really powerful, so I don't know if I want that happening. I think I'd rather have more control over when they draw than what Sylvan Library is doing. Ooh, that's a Whisper Silk Cloak for Chaotix. Yeah, new target. Chaotix going to play an Artful Dodge on the Dimir Cut Purse. Yep, they can do it again on the Throat Slitter if they want. Equip the Whisper Silk Cloak to the Cut Purse. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Where do they want to go? So far, Dimir Combat not looking awful. Yep, Artful Dodge on the Throat Slitter, so we can blow up a creature and make someone discard and draw a card. All seems pretty good. Personally, Master Transmuter. I guess Archivist is scary. They can't target the Trigon Predator. Yep, here comes Throat Slitter our way. Yeah, alright, so probably our Archivist is going to go down, which is unfortunate. I kind of wish I activated that, honestly. Well, I guess we're onto the Wheel of Fortune now. Need to start making more land drops again, ramping more, and doing all that kind of stuff. I think at this point, I feel like I've misplayed the Archivist. Should have definitely activated it at some point, but I like the things in our hand. Like, I like Trigon Predator, I like Boots, I didn't want to give up on those. Harvest Season, maybe it's feeling a little bit difficult to live the Harvest Season dream without our commander in play. But later in a game, I could certainly see it doing work. Ooh, that's an Aetherize! Wow, that's awesome. Nice. Alright, so we definitely want to activate the Archivist this turn. Although, opponent's getting low on cards in hand, so maybe not. Maybe not. The cards we have are decent. We have Ramp card and we have a Draw card. Chaotix is up to 6 cards. 6 makes it worth it. Okay. Yeah, that Aetherize is huge, actually. So we can cast our commander. We can Archivist. Actually, do we have enough mana? I'll double check. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be exactly enough for our commander. If we activate the Archivist, as long as we hit a land, any untapped land. A lot of basics in this deck, so I feel pretty good about that. Then we can cast our commander. We can put some boots on it, and we can keep doing stuff. And I like all that. Here comes Brokkos, Apex of Forever. I think it's maybe a little bit awkward that Brokkos doesn't have an ETB itself. But it is now a 6/6 with flying and trample, and we'll draw a card each combat. Yep, goes to combat, draws a card. Brokkos into Chaotix. Yep, here's a little poke for 6. Probably doesn't classify as a poke. He's going to feel that one a bit. Now, if we drew a land off the top right here, we could cast our commander first and then activate the Archivist, which would be the most ideal. But if we don't, then I'm probably still going to activate the Archivist and then just, do that in the less ideal sequencing. Saheeli's Artistry. Create a token copy of an artifact, create a token copy of a creature, except it's also an artifact. So that's going to be, oh my. It's going to be a Brokkos and a Lightning Greaves. Opponent getting some stuff a-going. I guess at the very least, it's just a beat stick. It's a big beat stick. And it's much bigger than our beat stick. But at least it's not like Fleshbag Marauder. Oh, that's a Swan Song. Oh, thank God. Whew. But time opponent ate a counterspell. I'm still a little salty about getting our commander countered there. Are they... Well, at least they're tapped out. I think they're going to counter that. They got 2 in the pool. Narset's Reversal. Okay, that's an interesting way to go about it. Let's see, they copy the Saheeli's Artistry. Oh god, they're going to have another one next turn? Well, we have Wheel of Fortune, so that'll be the best way to deal with that. So, still doing the same thing, but at least now they're tapped out. So, they get themselves some boots and a Brokkos. Note that when you copy a mutate stack like that, you do get all the things in the stack. And the Swan Song does fizzle because the original spell was returned to hand. Narset's Reversal is a nasty card. It is often better than a counterspell because it gets around other counterspells in the way that we just saw. You can also use it on your own spells. Used it on an extra turn spell one time, which was super crazy. So it is a very interesting card and a very powerful card in blue. Question is, how do we get this Trigon Predator haste so we can get past token? Opponent's coming our way. Rude. So this is going to be a little hit for 6. Opponents are basically tapped out, 1 open mana. I'm not expecting too much trouble out of it. Could be a Nature's Claim or something like that, but not expecting creature removal. Nature's Claim on Impact Tremors wouldn't make me super happy, but let's see what we draw. Come on, land. Not a land. Oh, the Perforos. Oh, I really don't want to give up on the Perforos, but we have to. I think we have to. Got to get this Archivist going. Let's also get the Saheeli's out of the hand, which is really important. Activate the Archivist. Oh, we just drew some swords. Oh, that's a Feast and Famine. You want to know what card makes me happy? This one. Also this one and this one. What's this thing do? All creatures able to block the board do so. Oh, that gives us a way past the Brokkos. I don't think we have enough mana to do all this necessarily, but we definitely have enough for a Feast and Famine. And a Sinew Steel. Okay. Cast Sword of Feast and Famine. Move the boots. Equip Sword of Feast and Famine. Re-equip the boots. Play the Island. Play the Blackblade Reforged. Go to combat. We're going to swing into Chaotix. We did hit Zombie last turn. Gonna be blown up. No, we only get to blow up 1 artifact right here. I think we got to get rid of the Whisper Silk Cloak. Too scary. Would like to get rid of the sword at some point also. But Whisper Silk on Etrata can make you lose a game, so. Trigon Predator hits. Sword of Feast and Famine hits. Blow up the Whisper Silk. Use the ability. I feel like we do need flying blocking. How much mana do we have at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana? There's 2 Brokkos in play. Oh, the counter on our commander hurts so bad. I'm going to be 7 to get that back. 1 short of equipping something big. Makes me sad. But I think we're still getting our commander right here. It's a high mana play, so might as well get it out of the way right now. Impact Tremors will get everyone. Move the Greaves over to the Xyris. Best turn like that. Let's see what opponents got on this next turn cycle. No removals so far. No real board wipes or anything like that. So everyone they got a bit going. We'll take a peek to see what we discarded when we wheeled with the Jace's Archivist. Platinum Angel, Duplicant, Saheeli's Artistry. Yeah, those are good ones to get rid of. Diabolic Tutor, Boneyard Lurker, and a Counterspell. And then from Chaotix, Eat to Extinction. Exile target creature, Planeswalker. Look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. Mind Leech Mask. Nice. Haven't seen that one in a while. Used to run it in my Reanimator deck like 15 years ago. Chaotix passes with all his mana up. Rift. Opponent casting a bunch of stuff over there. Looks like a Signet into a Birds of Paradise. Ooh, interesting art. Haven't seen that one before. Promo version of some kind. Oh no, that's a Bane of Progress. Well, that'll crush the blue player. It's not going to feel good for us either, though. Oh my, that's an 18/18 Bane of Progress. That is so incredibly large. Doesn't have trample, though. That's the one saving grace. I don't even know what happened, but somehow we got a snake token. Oh, opponent drew. Right, okay. So opponent drew with the Lieutenant ability, and we get a snake. So we can keep throwing those tokens in front of Bane of Progress all day. So the blue player, who I was worried about, has just been decimated by missing a bunch of land drops. They have 4 lands in play. They were relying heavily on artifact mana, and Bane of Progress will do that to you. Brokkos swinging over their way. Yeah. Whew. That was something. Opponent cracks an Evolving Wild, sure. But, you know, we still have stuff in play. The Bane of Progress didn't completely crush us. Now, we lost many things that I would have wanted to keep, but at the cost of... The blue player lost a bunch of stuff, and they were making me nervous. They got us with counters. They do seem to have a bit of control and some powerful top-end cards, so, you know, we came out of that much better than they did, and I still like our chances, where I don't like their chances at all anymore, so... There's our 5th land. Okay. Gonna have to fight a little bit to get back in it. Felwar Stone, okay. So, if they have another ramp spell in hand, which they may or may not, they may be able to catch back up a little bit, but definitely having to take some time off to do all that. Oh, we lost the Blackblade Reforged too. Oh, that makes me so sad. There's a Phyrexian Metamorph. That can get something. What are they going for? Another Bane? No, it wouldn't be a Bane of Progress. Probably the Brokkos again. Goes for our commander. Okay, so we have the Sword of Sinew and Steel. This is an artifact, which means we can shoot that, which is probably what I'm going to do. Brings back to our turn. There's a land. Don't know which land I need yet, so play the Sinew and Steel. So the blue deck seems to be a lot of clones, some counters, some artifacts, a lot of stuff. There's a duplicate Platinum Angel. Yep, good cards. Sultai deck, no slouch either. A lot of good Sultai stuff. So let us equip the Sinew and Steel. Pay 2 to do that. Go to combat. Chaotix has a bunch of open mana, which I'm not excited about, so I'm just going to send everything at zombie right here. Hoping Chaotix isn't sitting on a rift. Oh no! The birds is flying. Sinew and Steel not getting through. Crap. Mess that up. My piloting today. Not amazing. Teamer Wheels. Pretty far outside my comfort zone. Also, I don't know. Maybe just better focus. Gotta focus it up. Get our head in the game. So I guess we play the Stomping Ground untapped. Don't know what we're gonna do with it, but activate the Archivist. Don't be a Rift. It'll be real bad if it is. Yep, here it comes. Here comes the Rift. Yep, overloaded Rift, so everything gonna get bounced and wheeled? I guess that's fine. At least our curve is low. Reasonable chance we can cast something else. So there's the Rift. Being an instant speed? Nope. Sword of the Animist, a whole bunch of lands, and a Dream Fracture. Send Xyris back to the command zone. Yep. Got 3 mana. So we could Dream Fracture the first play we see, or at least the first big one. Or we could just go Sword of the Animist. Everyone's going to be trying to rebuild, I think, so I think we'll go for the Dream Fracture. Chaotix discards a Feast and Famine, Rogue's Passage. Oh, Chaotix going to drop a Witch's Cottage and get back a Mind Leech Mass. Where does that go? On top of the library? On top of the library. So Mind Leech Mass we'll probably be seeing next turn. There's a Suspicious Bookcase. Yeah, that's fine. Dimir Keyrune also seems fine. Etrata the Silencer, you say? Can't be blocked. Deals combat damage to a player. Exile a creature that player controls. Put a hit counter on it. Ugh. Yeah, I'm just not feeling that. Not feeling that. We want this Locust God to stick, and it will certainly come our way. Chaotix, a victim of the turn order right there, being the first one to untap after us with the Dream Fracture, so, you know, is what it is. We draw into a Mana Reflection. That's a pretty crazy card. If we play the Mana Reflection and we make our land drop, we'll have 4 lands, so we'll have 8 mana, which is enough to go Locust God and Sword of the Animist. Not enough to equip the Sword of the Animist, but Locust God seems good enough. Zendikar Resurgent ended up in the graveyard for opponent. That's a good one that you don't want to ever see. Opponent drops down a Liliana Vest, gonna tutor and put it to the top of their library. Yeah, pretty good time to do that. Living Death or Rise of the Dark Realms. Scary cards in this moment. What we could do on our turn is go get the Mana Reflection, play the Locust God, and then I think, what's that leave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we'll be 1 short unless we catch a Mana Rock off the top. A positive Mana Rock. We could activate the Gaia Reach Sanitarium just to get some tokens and loot away a land, which I think we're probably going to have to do at some point anyway, just because we did catch a lot of lands right there. Ooh, that's a Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, that is a fun and fair Magic card that absolutely does not cause problems. What are they targeting? Saheeli's or Aetherize might be their best so far. Goes for the Aetherize. Yep, seems safe. Down for an Aetherize. We'll want to be careful, not attack with our Locust God or really even our tokens. Semblance Anvil for opponent. That's a cool card. I always mean to use that a little more than I never do. Probably Artifact, I would imagine. Yep, goes for a Sculpting Steel, so Artifacts will be 2 cheaper. It's pretty good cost reduction. A lot of our artifact removal has gone down at this point with Trigon Predator and the Sword. Heartwood Storyteller, you say? That is interesting. Hadn't accounted for that. Let's play this Kessig Wolf run in the event of a wheel, or something like that. Let's play the Mana Reflection. Hope this gets through. Hope no more counters. It does not. It's going to get deprived. Okay, that being the case, Heartwood Storyteller time. We're sitting at the wrong spot at this table. We've been countered like 3 times at least, I think. Sitting after the blue player in the turn order. Pretty terrible. I'm worried about what this Liliana Vest went for. 4 blue decks today. This is the kind of game you get when you have 4 blue decks. Counterspells, Rifts, Wheels. You got a Sultai deck. I imagine there's about to be... If they fired off a counter in there somewhere, I imagine there's about to be some graveyard shenanigans out of that deck. Kadok's going to activate the Key Rune. Nice. If the plan is put a sword on it, doesn't seem awful. So opponent gets poked with the Dimir Key Rune, and then Chaotix casts the Mind Leech Mass. There it is. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may look at that player's hand. If you do, you may cast a spell from among those cards without paying its mana cost. So we're going to want to get all the spells out of our hand. That's the thing that we're going to want to do. Nyx Bloom Ancient coming down for Zombie Caller. That one's pretty good. They tutor with Liliana once again. Yep. Do they have that Rise of the Dark Realms? Here comes the Mystic Sanctuary back to play. Ugh, that card. We need a little bit of land removal. Don't like that thing at all. Oh yeah, with the Deprive, they bounced it. Oh my god. Yep. They can do that every time, right? That's like they'll always have a counter now. They're going to get stuck on lands if they do that, but... Yep, get back the Deprive. Means we probably don't want to try a Locust God. Unfortunately, we don't have like that much else to do. I mean, we could put a Sword of the Animist in, but we need something smaller than Locust God that is unlikely to get countered. Opponent's going to Imprison in the Moon on the Nyx Bloom Ancient. I'm down for that. We also get to draw. Come on, Counterspell battle. Get everyone tapped out right here. Not that I want to see Nyx Bloom Ancient survive, but I'd like to be able to cast our Locust God without getting countered. Draw with the Storyteller. That's a Blasphemous Act. That is interesting. If this resolves... I'm not convinced Blasphemous Act yet. What's this thing do? Target creature can't be blocked this turn, so they can make it unblockable. It's 6/6. I mean, it's scary. It does things, but I think I might wait a turn on the Blasphemous Act. Opponent's going to Hero's Downfall on the Mind Leech Mass. Fine with me. Draw with the Storyteller. It's a landscape. Yep, gross. Everyone's still reasonably healthy for turn 10 of this game. That's a Beast Within. It'll be handy to have around. We know they have Deprive. Doesn't make sense to try and go for the Locust God. So let's try Sword of the Animist right here. Opponents get to draw with the Storyteller. Yeah, that's the bad side. Equip the Animist to the Storyteller. Probably not going to Kessig Wolf run this turn. We've got a 3/4 Storyteller. Might as well take down the Liliana. Oh man, this game. Turn 10, this game has come to a halt. Sword of the Animist trigger. What are we getting? Got a little bit of green. Let's get a blue. I feel like we could have a little more blue mana. Liliana goes down. Let's get the Myriad Landscape into play. Activate the Gaia Reach. Maybe we wait on the Gaia Reach. So we don't have enough to Beast Within, Yamavaya Hollow, and Gaia Reach Sanitarium, so we'll just leave that up since it's all instant speed. We'll do it at the end step. Demonic Tutor for Chaotix. We get to draw with the Storyteller. I gotta check something on Deprive. I think the land bounce is part of the cost, which is not great because then we can't Beast Within in response to the counterspell. Yeah, it's an additional cost, so we can't respond, unfortunately, with the Beast Within, because would I use Beast Within on a Mystic Sanctuary? Absolutely. This thing is very combo-y. It's apparently not very hard. You know, basically just get something that just kind of loops with it over and over again. I've seen it a few times now. It is kind of a problematic card. Makes me sad because the white one is not good. Chaotix resolves the tutor. Thief of Sanity. Deals combat damage to a player. Look at the top 3 cards of that player's library. Exile one of them face down. Put the rest into their graveyard. You may look at and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. Activates the Key Rune. To me, that looks like he's probably playing around the counterspell also. Who wants to eat that counterspell? Key Rune over to Zombie Caller. Oh, this is about to get Ninjutsu'd. It's getting Ninjutsu'd. Moonblade Shinobi. I don't know which one this is. Deals combat damage to a player. Create a 1/1 blue illusion with flying. Meh, that's fine. It's not like Ink Eyes or something like that. That's a crazy card. Ink Eyes would be incredible in this moment. Also, Ninjutsu gets around counterspell. That's a thing to think about. I would have just Inkized. I don't know if he has one or if it's in the deck or whatever, but seems like he's got a decent amount of Ninjutsu, so yeah. Inkeyes, reanimate something? Yes, please. At this point in the game. Get themselves a token. Inkeyes is a card that I need to play more. It's been around forever, and I just, haven't run it nearly as much as I should. Everyone's so ETB focused these days, but yeah, that's a good card. Let's see what Zombie's got. He's got decent mana. 8 cards in hand. I'd imagine if he could blow up the Imprison in the Moon, he'll probably attempt to do so. He's tapping up everything. Rise of the Dark Realms. Genesis Wave X8. I assume this is going to eat the counter. Draw with the Storyteller. We draw an Imprison in the Moon. Yep, gonna deprive on the Genesis Wave. We'll get to draw another card. They bounce the Mystic Sanctuary. No chance for us to shoot it with the Beast Within, but we can do it on the ETB before the deprive goes back to their hand. And I may do that because, counterspell every single turn. Not great. Kind of preventing us from the things we want to be doing. Don't love it. Don't love it. On the other hand, it is good to have a table cop. But we've got some of our own removal at this moment, so we can police a bit. Nothing for the stack currently, but we can deal with permanents. You have to be careful if there's another counterspell. But at least it would force them to use mana. I don't know if that's good enough, honestly. Ooh, opponent goes for Darksteel Citadel. They don't go for the Mystic Sanctuary. Again. We know they have an Aether Eyes. We know they... I think they're just going to sit with all their mana up. Gross. Heartwood Storyteller are a little kind of problematic just because, we're going to feed them cards. I'm going to Beast Within their Semblance Anvil, and does it even... I don't think it makes sense. Do they just let it go? I think they just let it go. They have the Aether Eyes. Ugh. It's not great. It's not great. Yeah, we need small plays right here. We can definitely Gaia Reach, so let's do that. Another land for us. Yeah, start ditching some lands here. Would they discard? An island. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think this game's near over yet. They've table copped real hard, and we drew Cyclonic Rift. Hey, now. You know what, though? That doesn't even fix the problem, honestly. Oh, this game. This game. Play a forest. No, play the Flooded Grove. Make sure we have multiple colors of everything. Send in the Storyteller. Sword of the Animus will trigger. If we let this go long enough, in theory, we'll have more mana than our opponents and can, play more spells than they can counter, but I think we're still a ways away from that. Do we Kessig Wolfrun? Things I want to do this turn. I want to cultivate this turn and probably leave up a bunch of instant speed stuff. No Kessig Wolfrun this turn. I'm also going to plan to crack the Myriad Landscape. I'm going to cast Cultivate, so we're just going to ramp really hard this turn. And then try to get ourselves to a place next turn where we can get past the counter spells. Cast Cultivate. Let's get a mountain and an island. Put the island in tapped. Seem to have a little bit of blue happening right now. 9 cards in hand. Yep. We pitching a few lands that way. Discard Forest. See who wants to blink and try and take down Padeem. Kirun into play. We get to draw. There's a Harrow. More instant speed stuff. More ramp. Sounds good to me. So this will just be the big ramp turn. Big ramp turn. If for some reason the Storyteller would die, I'd probably let it go. No attacks from KO with the Ninjutsu guy. Oh, the Aether Eyes. Yep, that's why. That is why. Because we want to cast a lot of spells, and a lot of spells will draw our opponents a lot of cards, and it's not the most ideal. Opponent thinks about it, lets it go. Nice attack by KO right there. Making him think. Thief of Sanity will trigger. I know I read this a moment ago, but I have to read it again already. Combat damage to a player. Look at the top 3. Exile one of them face down. Rest in the graveyard. Look at and cast that card as long as it remains exile mana of any color. Okay, cool. So they look at 3, exile 1. They can play it if they want to. Opponent's down to 21. That 2/2, not exactly imposing a lot of damage. Same with our 3/4, but anything bigger than that, and they will just Aether Eyes. Gilded Lotus, we get to draw a card. Oh, where's that folio at? At this point, that folio could be a win condition. Oh man, it's in the graveyard. Oh, that's doubling season. Well, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I don't know if we're getting that one into play, but we're starting to get to a point, especially if we hit all this ramp the way that I want to. We should have a lot of mana when we untap, so we might be able to go doubling season into Locust God, and that should hopefully start to get something moving. Oh, that's a Time Spiral. No. Does this get countered? That shuffles the graveyard, though. That's a thing to think about. If they have a counter, they probably counter it. We'll draw. We draw land. KO has some small stuff over there, but he's not really attacking us. I don't think it's worth rifting into the wheel if this doesn't get countered. Like, if we do that, it'll just slow the game down more, and we're at a point where the game kind of needs to get moving. Yeah, it's going to get countered, so there's a Stoic rebuttal. Storyteller will trigger. There's an Omniscience. That's how we can end this game. Nope. KO's got a counter of his own. There's an Arcane Denial into the Storyteller. Oh my god, this game. This has been the bluest game ever. Mass bounce into wheel, counter spells everywhere, no one has creatures in play. We're so far away from damage actually happening. Draw with the Storyteller. There's a Windfall. Do they have another counter spell? Stoic rebuttal down. Okay, Time Spiral, priority is on us. Let us. So if we played the thing, we'd get rid of the Anvil, a couple small creatures from KO, and a guild. It's not worth it. I'd rather just ramp really hard right here. Anything blue at instant speed? Currently, no, just the Rift. Actually, what we can do, we could 2-mana Rift something. Maybe the Gilded Lotus. Maybe we'll do that. So let's Harrow. We need to sacrifice the land, we'll sacrifice the forest. Storyteller will trigger all these cards. There is some risk here in that, like, the Time Spiral doesn't resolve as we cast a million spells. Well, I guess we're only casting one spell. So we get some lands, we'll get 2 forests into play. Actually, let's go Forest Island. Oh, those come in untapped? Wow, what a ridiculous card. He's gonna 2-mana Rift the Gilded Lotus. You know, I kind of don't want him to have that Gilded Lotus, honestly. Actually, all that does is put it back in his deck. Draw out the Storyteller. Ooh. Ooh, that's an Arcane Denial. I'm not sure I want that Time Spiral to resolve. We have all the things we need to win the game. That being the case, Beast within the Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus down. I'm gonna Arcane Denial the Time Spiral. Storyteller will trigger. So that gets countered. Rift fizzles. KO has a few creatures in play. We've got a little mana up. Hope to Myriad Landscape at the end step. Zombie's got 17 cards in hand. Padeem's got 13. I wouldn't mind drawing another counter, like I know we just burned one, but we're going to lose our hand if we did, and our hand is really good right now. But there are 4 Arcane Denial triggers. So many Arcane Denials flying off in that turn. So, you know, the thing is, like, if we just let our hand go, Omniscience is what's going to win us this game. And, you know, getting all this stuff, this is like most of our big things. Doubling Season, Omniscience, Locust God, that's how we win a game, I think, without our commander. And, yeah, losing those just doesn't seem great, so. Nyx Bloom Ancient, back to play. Yep, that thing makes mana. Gets themselves, oh man, what is that? 18? 18 mana? It's pretty good. 16 cards in hand. Sure, they've got something. I think they were testing the waters. Not tapping it all out right there, seeing what they had. If you got the big play, now's the time to go for it. Eternal Witness is a good way to start that sequence. Eternal Witness Genesis Wave. Got the new fancy art, too, out of the, Can't think of the name of that set now. You guys know what I'm talking about. I bought the Thalias out of it. They're pretty sweet looking. Secret Lair, that's the one. Archetype of Endurance, pretty good. No Genesis Wave, now's the time to go for it. Even if it was like X8, something around there. Run away together. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owner's hands. Yeah, they're going to bounce our Storyteller. Probably about time that happened. I think it's probably doing more bad than good at this moment since we don't have anything to really synergize with. We do draw another land, of course. My question is, how do we get Omniscience through the blue player? Because like, even though our mana's good, our ability to go Omniscience, have it countered, and then still do other stuff is like, it's not incredible. I also really don't want a Blasphemous Act because I know it'll just slow this game down more. We'll be back into the counterspell lock. I think this deck needs a Reliquary Tower. Does it have one? Let's find out. Doesn't look like it. Yep, I think it needs one. The problem is they still have Mystic Sanctuary. They can just go Mystic Sanctuary Deprive. But they're going to have to fight the idea that they have 17 cards in hand, and I'm sure they don't want to discard a million of them. So if they have a Reliquary Tower, I mean, they have to play it, basically. Yep, there's the Reliquary Tower, so at least it's not Mystic Sanctuary into Deprive again. We don't know if they have a counter. I mean, they probably do because they have 16 cards in hand, but ugh. Could use a counter spell of our own. Foundry Inspector, yeah, that's pretty good. Not too far away from free artifacts. Maybe we should rift the thingy. Darksteel Plate. I think I'm going to 2-mana Rift the Semblance Anvil. If they have a counter, they'll probably use it. This will unfortunately not allow us to use the Myriad Landscape like I had hoped. It's a bit more artifact cost reduction than I'm really comfortable with. Even the worst case is if they have to replay it, it's still going to use some mana. Kind of take them off whatever they were planning to do. So that gets bounced. Recast the Semblance Anvil. Yep. Gotta exile something. Exiles the Skull Clamp. Mirage Mirror. Uh-oh. I think it'd be like, they're going to be on like free artifacts very soon. Metalwork Colossus is a card. Come on, tap that blue mana. Still got to worry about free counters, but, you know, they generally have a cost associated with them. Equips the Darksteel Plate to the Metalwork Colossus. Fine with that. Leaves up 2 blue. Ooh, Mirage Mirror can copy our Omniscience. That would be bad. May need to start with an Imprison in the Moon. That only hits lands, creatures, and planeswalkers. Does not hit artifacts. That's an Ugin. Ugin does not much against an artifact deck. We have 13 cards in hand. How many cards do people have in their libraries? Could try windfalling everyone to death. Let's try Doubling Season, see if Doubling Season gets countered. That's like a pretty heavy counter target. That resolves. Didn't expect that. Did not expect that. Still got the problem of this Mirage Mirror. How do we deal with that? Play the Sulphur Falls. Guess play the Blasphemous Act. This will do 2 things. It'll kill this Foundry Inspector, which should shut down the engine a little bit. Also gets rid of the Nyx Bloom and the Archetype, which can't stay alive. Opponent's going to unsummon their Nyx Bloom Ancient. Sure. Opponent's going to Spell Pierce the Blasphemous Act. Who cast that? That's from Zombie. I mean, I guess we just pay the 2? How much more mana do we have left? That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I think we just pay the 2. Creature's getting blued up. I'm still not convinced that opponent doesn't have a counter. I think it's Locust God Wheel time. Just try it and hope it doesn't backfire. Locust God resolved. Windfall, I guess. Do they have interaction? Yep. Or, well, they still have the mirror. But if the mirror is their best play, then, yeah, okay. I think we're good, because we have Doubling Season, so we're going to get twice the number of tokens. It'd be real bad if they had something free, like, was it Snap or something like that? Many Locust God triggers. Cast a Mana Crypt. Don't have enough. We've already played a land, so we've only got 2 mana left. So we'll just equip the sword, one of these insects. Opponent's got 13 flying blockers. I mean, we can't even kill them, which is super disappointing. Oh, where's that Impact Tremors? Did opponent have a counterspell? They had an Aetherize. Mystic Sanctuary's gone. That's good. Meteor Golem. Curse of Swine. They did not have a counterspell. Oh, we could have went for the Omniscience. There was no way to know. Blue deck with 11 cards, you assume they have it. So, I mean, they block with every token, and then they would go to like 12, give or take, and then kill us on the backswing? That doesn't seem great. So we'll send a bunch of stuff their way, but I'm going to leave a bunch back also. I mean, if they have a Rift, it's bad times, but there, we've got 10 blockers, so seems good enough to me. Sword of the Animus will trigger. Use the ability. Grab a forest. Opponent doing some blocks. So opponent loses most of their tokens and goes down to 18. So didn't take that much damage. We lose a bunch of ours as well. They trade. We still got to be careful of interaction. Any type of mass bounce could be a real issue. It does bring it to our end step. We do have to discard some stuff. So Spire Garden, Steam Vents. Do we need to try? I don't think we need a Tri-Builder at this point. What about this other stuff? I guess we'll keep the Makokoro. If opponents start getting really low on cards, opponents' libraries are 36, 34, 35 compared to our 29. Oh, I wish we had the folio. I want to get that back. Having a feeling like there's not any recursion in this deck. This is a Time Twister. We could get it back with that, but then we have to start all over. There's a Forced Fruition, is what there is. Oh, I want to see that now. There's also a Vicious Shadows. I wouldn't mind drawing any of that stuff. Chaotic's going to activate the Key Rune, send the Key Rune our way. Yep. Can't be blocked. Can't do much about it. Ninjutsu time. Ninja of the Deep Hours. There are scarier things. Get that card draw. Down to 22. He draws a card. Key Rune back to play. Yep. If all of his swords didn't get blown up, we blew up some of the swords. That does impact his damage significantly. If I were gonna try to power up KO's deck a little bit, I mean, it's like the thing you need is extra combats. Dimir doesn't have extra combats, it has extra turns. And then extra turns is like sort of a different kind of deck. Like it shoots you into a different power level of decks and takes it away from the more fun and casual side of things into the this feels terrible and lets everyone, counter or kill the player who takes extra turns. So I get it. But yeah, what that deck is lacking right now is, I think, just damage. You know what I mean? They've had creatures out all game, but life totals are still healthier than they should be for turn 12. 3 players in the 20s, 1 at 18. But yeah, and that's the problem with blue-black is it's just, the things aren't big and well-suited to damage. It's not like a Boros deck or a red deck where you have lots of double strike and extra combats. And, with 3 or 4 different cards that have like doubles, especially if you mix double strike, double damage, it only takes you like 2 or 3 creatures to really start presenting lethal damage on someone, where when you have a bunch of small things, it takes much, much more. I'm not thinking of any off the top of my head, but also team pump effects. Don't think there's a lot of that in Dimir either, so, Here comes a Hero's Bane Hydra. Yep. Not nearly the most threatening thing that they could play. Pretty sure they bounced their Nyx Bloom thing. Why didn't they start with that? Mutate, reach whenever the creature mutates, put 2 counters on it. Sure. Make the Hydra bigger. KO has what looks like counterspell mana up. Diabolic Intent. Yep. That's a tutor. Boots for opponent. Uh-oh. High Tide. This is when you lose the game. 10 cards in hand. Ooh, they've Rift in the graveyard. Nice. That is a big thing to not have to worry about. They seem like the type of deck that could be playing Evacuation, though. Also, Aether Spouts. Not attacking with Locust God probably is a really good idea. See what opponent's got. We have to not lose right here. Padeem? Okay, I'm fine with Padeem. First time we've seen their commander all game. On their upkeep, they'll surely get the draw trigger with Metalwork Colossus out, but yeah, surprisingly, haven't actually got Padeem in. Move the boots over to Padeem. I'm okay with this. Spine of Isha. Probably doubling season, would be my guess. Locust God brings itself back, which makes it maybe not the best target, but still annoying for us. Would prefer not have to recast it. No, it goes for the Locust God. Okay. Read this text again. When it dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Gotta dodge the counter on the way back in. Also skips our draw step. So Locust Trigger goes on the stack after it dies. Opponent's just about out of mana, though, and that makes me happy. No trample on the Metalwork Colossus. That is good news. 3 blue left for opponent. What do they have? Alhammeret's Archive. Ooh, yeah. If we wield? Normal wheel would make him draw 14. A windfall style wheel. This would make them draw 14. Not enough to kill him, though. We need double strike to really get it there. I think we've got shared animosity and some things that pump our tokens left in the deck. Those would be nice. Beastmaster Ascension, shared animosity, both good. Vicious Shadows would also... Actually, yeah, Vicious Shadows could end it. Opponent coming our way with the big thing. Yep. Block it and block the Padeem. Can also think about the Kessig Wolf Run. Does eat up a lot of mana, though, with our mana doubler not sticking. It's unfortunate. Locust God comes back at the end step. Mana Crypt Flip on us. Let's go Tails. Lost the flip. Ha ha ha! That's a Warp World. As much as I want to do that, it probably prolongs the game. I don't know that there's a ton of things left that I want to hit. Is that a shuffle? Shuffles all permanents they own into their library. Does that shuffle your graveyard too? No, I think it's just a battlefield. Parallel Lives, Bear Umbra, Puzzle Box. Coat of Arms is a card. Oh man, I'm feeling no on the Warp World. This game is already very long. We've got to be north of 2 hours at this point. Try the Locust God. Hope it doesn't go face first into a counter. It does not. Play Makokoro. Activate Makokoro. Ah, it's a land. Activate Xyris Sanitarium. Nick those, you say. Discard the Rootbound Crag. We have surprisingly little devotion. This thing has reach. Yep, that's... Reach is legit. Make some more Locust God thingies. Let's get the boots into play. Or do we just Kessig Wolf Run? We gotta get people dead here. Oh man, everyone has so much life still. Whew. If we warped worlded, we would get every permanent in our deck, I think? We'd get Force Fruition. We would get Force Fruition. Each player shuffles all permanents they own into their library. If the boots were in play, I'd probably do it. Let's get the boots. Ah, what the hell? What's the worst that could happen? We're here for entertainment, right? Here we go. Warp World. No idea what's going to happen. Probably should have attacked first, but what can you do? If we get untapped lands, ooh, blue player with untapped lands is bad, right? Uh-oh. I think the game's having trouble. Don't crash. Please don't crash. Oh, we got a Magus and a Locust God. Cool. Yeah, I guess we'll pay 2. Have the land come in untapped. Got a bunch of pain lands in there. Feeling those. Not going to pay for that one. We got an Aura. Put the Bear Umbra on the Locust God. Vicious Shadows is in play. Sweet. All the spells going to the bottom of our library. Opponent gets most of the same stuff back. Ooh, Quita Spike and Forge. This Warp World just acted like a mana doubler. I was not expecting that. Aha! Force Fruition's in play. Nice. Oh, Zach Ryan's decks are hilarious, by the way. I've been playing with them a lot in paper, and just they're super interactive in fun ways. Like, he's always looking to play with your stuff. Azra Smoke Shaper, and creature you control gains indestructible. It's fine. Oh, we've also got Beastmaster Ascension in play. It's pretty good. Opponent's gonna Putrefy on our Locust God. Let's try the old Heroic Intervention. Force Fruition triggers. Oh, it's gonna get Mana Drain. That's gonna be a Force Fruition trigger. Who even cast that? I don't know. It does have a Bear Umbra on it, actually. Note that it cannot be regenerated. Via Hollow does not work right here. Bear Umbra takes the bullet on that one. Opponent's gonna Erratic Portal something. What's the target? Oh, this Ink Eyes. Yeah, there's the Ink Eyes we talked about with Aqueous Form on it. One of Chaotix creatures will gain indestructible. Play the Nykthos. We actually have some devotion now. 4 devotion to green. 1, 2, 3. Looks like 3 red and 3 blue. As long as I didn't miss anything. Okay, so I think I'm trying to end the game right here. We need to, if we chain reaction with a bunch of tokens in play, then that should do it. Let's get these Swiftfoot Boots. Opponent's going to negate the Swiftfoot Boots. Not what we wanted to see. They get hit with the Force Fruition. KO going to cycle with Fetid Pools. Wait, does it say any creature? Whenever a creature dies, how many creatures are in play? Oh, enough that chain reaction should be lethal. Well, we just got to bait out all the counters first. Stefano has 24 cards in hand. That's a problem. But if they counter more stuff, they're down to 17 in library. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 mana before Nykthos stuff. Okay. Try Nykthos on green. Let's get the Dragon Mage. Make sure we can still cast the chain reaction. Try this chain reaction. See if this gets countered. If it doesn't, it'll be the game. There it is! Chain reaction, Vicious Shadows, taking us home. Also, some Force Fruition action in there, too. Alright, start saying okay to these triggers. Oh, please don't be a summary dismissal. Shimmermere. Okie dokie. Fine with that. Down they go. Nice. Oh man, this game. This game was like probably 2.5 hours. It was very long. Even that last turn probably took like 20 minutes, just people resolving triggers and all that sort of stuff. The deck was cool. As far as things we need, the deck needs recursion. That was a big thing I was noticing. Eternal Witness is kind of the gold standard. They're a little more expensive than I think you want them to be these days. Haven't looked at the price. So you could go Eternal Witness. Green Warden of Marasa is very solid and I think is much cheaper. This deck doesn't have much in the top end of the curve, so you could add a 6-drop comfortably if you wanted to. What's that other thing out of Innistrad? Creeping something? Creeping Renaissance. Choose a permanent type. Return permanents of the chosen type. There's a decent amount of spells in the deck. Maybe just an Underworld Breach? Underworld Breach. Past in Flames is still a little... Oh, no, that got reprinted again, didn't it? You could go like Underworld Breach. Let's just add Underworld Breach, but I think you want something that has recursion attached to it. You have some different options available to you, but some way to get your stuff back is where this deck wants to be, I think. Tranquil Grove, that's an interesting one. Trigon Predator didn't get as many hits in with it as I would have liked. Trigon Predator is better in a slightly more casual game where you're not expecting board wipes every single turn like we did in this game. In that situation, that's where Reclamation Sage is just going to be better. But the fact that Trigon Predator can hit multiple times can be really strong. So that's something to think about. Harvest Season, I wasn't impressed with. I know it's not great early, but I know it's good late. If we could have ever landed our commander at some point and gotten it down, then it would have been good. By the way, we the 2 times we played our commander, it really didn't stick, so it turned into more of a game about the Locust God. The Warp World finish was hilarious, I do have to say. So had just enough tools in there for Warp World to finish it up for us. This Nessian Boar, really not doing much for me. 5 mana, 10/6. Becomes blocked. That creature's controller draws. Like, it's fine. It's, it's not the first thing I'm going for. The other thing I think this deck really wanted, so some sort of recursion, we mentioned. Maybe like 1 to 2 of those, Underworld Breach, Past in Flames, Green Warden, something like that. And then the other thing that I think this deck really wants is 1, a Reliquary Tower. Easy change to make right there. Add a Reliquary Tower, cut a basic. And the other one is Library of Lang. This will allow you to choose which cards you want to keep in your hand whenever you're discarding. Now, it doesn't work on like a Time Twister where it says shuffle, but any of the discard wheels, it'll allow you to choose what you're discarding and put it back on top of your library. So essentially you just draw right back into the card. Like we discarded a Wheel of Fortune somewhere, I think, and we could have just put that right back on top and kept it right there, good to go. So I think that's also going to be great. It also gives you no max hand size, which would have been relevant for us. Other than that, I probably wouldn't change too much. I always like a little bit more removal. Wouldn't ever say no to that. I did feel like maybe we could have had just a touch more multi-rep, but on the other hand, too, let's see. There aren't like a ton of really expensive cards in the deck, but I was really jealous of, I think it was like an Explosive Vegetation or a Sky Shroud Claim. You could add 1 or 2 things here at the 4 CMC slot, and I think that would work just fine. Other thing you could look at, maybe an extra combat spell. You could add like a Savage Beating. Well, it depends what you want to do. So you could go the Aggravated Assault route. You got to Feast and Famine. That does power up the deck a bit. So it depends if you want it to be that strong or not. You could also add... So you can go Aggravated Assault, you can go Savage Beating, go either of those. You could put like a Godo. Never mind. Godo finds your equipment, but it doesn't untap everything. Not sold on Godo, but... So, maybe an extra combat spell. It is trying to do combat-y type things, but with Beastmaster and Shared Animosity, those are already pretty good. So it's just a matter of how you want to, like, tweak the balance of the deck. I don't know. Is Burning Inquiry, is that one super necessary? I guess it makes a bunch of tokens for 1 mana. Why not, right? What are we getting rid of? Probably need to cut a 3-drop. Molten Psyche has this one. Each player shuffles cards from their library, draws that many cards if you control, and then it does damage if you have Metalcraft. It's pretty good. Although, Metalcraft, gonna be tough to come by in this deck. So maybe that one's on the chopping block. None of these cards are bad. So it is actually kind of tough to cut. Maybe Dragon Mage. Dragon Mage is probably the worst of all of them. It's so big and it's so slow. Just hard to get going. Because even at the end there, when we had a lot of mana, still didn't really want a Dragon Mage all that much. Like, it was fine. Didn't blow me away. So cut Dragon Mage. Other things we want to add to, probably just a little more haste into the deck. So Flamekin Village and Hainwire Battlements. So add those in. We can cut a forest. We can cut a mountain. Maybe we want that mountain. No, I think it's fine. It'll be fine. But you get the idea. So just a touch more haste so that if your commander comes in, you can give it haste. Locust God can have haste. Stuff like that. But other than that, I don't think I would change too much. If you wanted to make some changes, you could probably offload this 3 CMC slot just a little bit. Add some double ramp right here. Maybe add another 5-drop or 2. I'm all about not having things that compete with your commander, but like more than 2 5-drops would be okay, I think. But the low curve did help a lot. We were able to play a lot of spells, so, I think it's just at this point about getting a little bit more utility for some different stuff, getting that recursion, getting Library of the Lang for the wheels and stuff like that, so. But anyway, I thought the deck was a lot of fun. It was a really cool game. Game was super long. Got to see a lot of everyone's decks, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. And if you're planning to buy Ikoria, M21, or Commander 20 cards, please use the TCG affiliate player link below because it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Playing some Xyris The Writhing. Playing some Xyris The Writhing. Oh my god. Playing some Xyris The Writhing Storm today.